Okay, we have a $100 challenge today. We put that on the scale. It's 65 pounds. Mike says he can hurl it in one hand, so everybody gets a shot unless it goes in first shot. Mike gets the 100. One hand.
No way.
One hand.
No way, one hand.
Yeah, I'll get it in. I'm old. One hand.
No shot. There you go.
No, you go first.
No shot.
Sam, you want to try?
You'll never get a shot.
One
You'll
hand.
never get a shot at putting that in one hand.
One hand.
Never.
Nobody wants to do it. They both work out. He works out 5 times a week.
You'll never get it in
He
one
works
shot.
out 4 times a week. What do you deadlift?
700. You'll never get
700.
You'll never get it in one.
I'm 60 years old. I have a broken neck, a broken back, ACL repair.
Doesn't matter. You'll never get that in one-handed.
So now after seeing it, because I almost got it in.
No, it didn't. It came up really short.
Go ahead, try it for $100. One hand. Don't throw it in 2. Gonna let Craig try it. Was that your one hand, like a shot put? That's not a bad idea. Not bad, that's 2. Sam, come here. Now, how do you feel?
Alright.
Wait, me, alright. That was amazing. Wait. But what about Craig? He no longer has an opportunity? You're okay with that? That's a technical loophole for me getting out of that. Never really thought it was going to be a shot put. Okay. Alright. My neck and back hurts really bad right now. Craig. So I just gave everybody a $100 challenge. Of course, Mike's a wussy. He didn't even try it. I tried it. It may look terrible on the video, but I didn't get it in. But then Sam takes it, does this. Like he's shooting a basketball, he shot puts it in. Yeah. Where's your opportunity?
So throw it in?
Yeah. Oh, he's down. But now he's got a dumpster dive.
Oh, it's in?
Yeah.
Ah, good.
It's $100. So you know when I tell Taryn this, if you didn't go for it, you're in trouble. So let's just keep that in mind. Well, there was actually a handle, a door, right around the other side. You see it?
No.
It's over here. He just did a little shot put right there and it went straight down. It's $100. You got kids, you got a pool you want. Uh-oh. See, out with my big mouth, I could be out $200 now. Shit, it really looked light right there. You know, I didn't have my coffee. I am physically in bad shape from racing dirt bikes. No, one hand. What? No, see, you're using 2 there. It's one hand. All right, well, so what was the other one you were going to do? Yeah, go ahead, because that's what Sam did. But he balanced it on one hand. All right, you'll get your money. These kids, they just can't play by the rules. Yeah, that's what it is. I should have stopped at Mike when he quit. And I said I could have done it, but here you have it. 60 years old. I think I've had 9 surgeries. And I start my day out negative $200. So, okay, we have today a pretty difficult job. Very nice people. got to dismantle his entire front entrance way with what are the railroad ties, and then he's got a walkway with brick pavers he said he was going to do. So we signed it about a month ago. A couple of correspondence back and forth, so not sure. And then we're going to try to bury a 275 horizontal below grade in one of those flower box areas, and we're not really sure where it is, but he's got pachysandras he loves, so he wants us to put the ground protecting mats all over the pachysandras. And because I can't get back down to the truck, we're going to use the muck truck to actually fill it with stone. So there you have it. That's our day. Craig's cutting some wood, wondering why. What's that for?
Side rail.
Cutting the side rail for the truck. All right. And this is probably a 17-year-old blade, and it's a saw that my wife bought at yard sale because she loves yard sales. Probably she talked him down to about 75 cents. Let's see how good this works.
Not great.
See, that blue smoke means there's basically no blade. Pretty dull. But another 10 more minutes, you'll get through. Okay, so that's it. Sam's going to bring down a horizontal 275. We'll start cleaning up and do what we do every single day for over 20 years. And it's never not exciting. Okay, I get this question a lot. No one really seems to understand how a vent alarm sight gauge combo. This right here is the whistle vent. So as you're filling it, let me just drop this in for you. So as the oil fills up, this simply moves up with the weight. It's buoyant, and that's how that makes that gauge go up. It's a simple situation like that. So a lot of times people say, oh, my vent's stuck, it's not working. All you got to do is unscrew this glass right here, and you just take that and push up and down on it. That'll break it free. It's probably caught on some sludge maybe that was floating at the top, or if it was installed correctly, a lot of people put the return and suction line here, so then when it goes up, it hits the return and suction line. So there's actually a way for it to be in. So I always say 95 capacity. So this is also the vent. In other words, you put the fill pipe here and the vent pipe here, so when the oil man starts to pump it, the air in the tank has to go somewhere. So it goes up, out through that, and that makes it whistle. So once the oil comes up and then hits that and covers that hole, it pushes it up a little bit, it shuts it off. It shuts it off for the oil man, and the whistling stops. So that's the whistle vent alarm, and combo gauge is the sight gauge. This is how your sight gauge works. It floats up and down, and that's that. Here are your return and suction lines. These are two lines that'll go right down to the bottom of the tank, probably 4 inches up on it, so all that sludge doesn't kick up. This is a clean tank, but you can still see the amount of sludge that stayed to it. They get pretty bad. Plus, this tank was 66 years old, and we were called out on an emergency response because the bottom of it was leaking. And it was leaking right there. See, he tried to patch it. So, and it was full. So we got out there in the nick of time. That'll be a video that will be coming up. Actually, it's the one where it's Meet My Girls. That removal is in that. So I just wanted to show you that because I get that question a lot and it's hard to explain how the vent alarm sight gauge combo works. Good morning, everyone. We are here in Tuxedo Park. We have a little bit of a challenging one here today. We've got tough access in. We had to bring all of our ground protecting mats because he wants these, I don't know, I think they're called Pachysandra. He wants them saved. So the underground tank is up in that railroad tie area up by the house. And this right here is going to be my path in with the excavator and with the backfilling. So that's why we brought stone, and we're going to use the muck truck because we got to bring 5 tons in up through there. And then hopefully when we lift these ground protecting mats, the homeowner said this stuff will come back. I'm not too familiar with this foliage, but what we're looking to do, it's too many codes in Tuxedo Park to try to get a tank installed in the garage. So we're going to remove that tree right there and put a 275 gallon tank. The existing underground is up there, and we're going to remove that. Okay, so after speaking with him, all this, probably from here, is all going to get ripped out. It's got to come down. I don't know, I just try to save that top one here, and then from the bottom, so hopefully that stays, depending on the spikes. But all this is getting removed. Here is the tank. He wants that tree saved. And this right here is where a 330 horizontal is going to go. So this all has to come apart. All this stuff, probably this back half. And my access in with the machine is right here. So I'm actually going to sit in some tight quarters. Right here is where I'll sit with the machine. And then I'm slowly going to have to start to pick all this stuff apart and put it neatly somewhere. I have a difficult turn because I have the tree right here. And on top of that, I have probably 5 or 6 overburdens. When I scoop the dirt, I got to swing and I got to set it somewhere. So tight area, tight quarters, nice property. He loves his plants here. We'll try to go over off into these rocks more. So this will be our access in and out. You all fired up, boys? Oh, yeah. It's a good one. Okay, Craig's setting my truck up out of the way. We're parked here. It's not a busy road. Not too worried about safety here. We will throw some cones down at the bottom. Sam is unhooking the tank right now. These are called ratchet straps. We'll crank down the bucket. Use that to pull the machine back because we've got it hooked down both on the front blade. That's how we install this. Hook these up first, then we crank it back with that center one, and then we fasten down the bucket. All right, the boys. Hey, I got a question for you guys. 40 years out in the service. So, when you install a vertical tank, you told me the last time that the seam of the tank has to be on the outside. Why would the manufacturer put the seam on a bottom on a horizontal?
Because they make the tanks the same way. They just put the legs in a different spot, in the bungs.
Right, but why is it no longer a concern being able to visually inspect the seam? Why wouldn't the seam just be across the top?
Is there any?
I think I've got them stumped. Have you never noticed this?
I have, but the only, what, it doesn't collect water here? I don't know.
I don't know. It just seems that it's important to Granby that seam get a visual inspection. That's why
Probably because where the seam is, they don't want it, they would have to offset it because it's in the middle.
Right.
And the bungs wouldn't fit.
You wouldn't think that would be too hard, right?
Well, the bungs would be off-centered.
No, the seam would be right here.
This is the same as the vertical. The seam is.
I know it is.
But they overlap.
Exactly. They didn't want to make the time to do a set of specs.
Right. This is the.
So in 1 minute, the seam is very important to be inspected, and you won't. Their warranty is null and void if you're not showing the seam. But because they don't want to make a set of specs, I guess that warranty is not important anymore. Just something Roz noticed. So props to you, Roz. Thumbs up to Roz. All right, so they're working on this 330 horizontal. We got the 6-inch riser. We've got the Scully with cap. That's that vent alarm. So that vent alarm, obviously, because it's only 27 inches, that's a special vent alarm sight combo gauge, only for horizontals. Because it's too short, it won't work. So there's Mike Duplex. He's got one-sided plug, so that tells me it's a one-line system. Is that correct, boys? Is he doing a tiger loop?
He has one.
Oh, he has a tiger loop. And then in that, we'll put a 2-inch plug. So then they got to lift this thing up, and they're going to try to put it this right there in that. You know, when you come out to do a site inspection and you look at this situation, the tank was up in this area. That was the top of it. So you're thinking the tank is just in that, but the tank is actually below grade down here. That's why it's an extremely deep tank. And I have no place to put my overburden, as you can see. I've removed all of his railroad ties over here. And this is about as high as we can get with the overburden. And I've just now reached the top of the tank. And the tank, it runs cockeyed. It goes that way. So I'm going to try to dig down here, make it safe enough for the boys to not have a cave-in and have that 6x6 post clunk them in the head. And pull this tank out. Then we're going to backfill and support that wall because that's where the horizontal's going. And as you can see, I'm sitting on top of all the overburden because it's such a deep tank. And we continue to dig. The what?
The tank is lower than the highest at this point.
Okay. Well, tank set up. We're transferring the fuel. We'll be able to fill that 330 right up. And we're probably going to have an extra 100 gallons or so that will run hoses down to the box trailer. The driveway's too steep on entrance, so our hitches actually hit, so we got to stay out there by the roadway. We'll finish this up, then I'll make an attempt to pull this tank. That's the end of the tank right there. That's why I cut the whole top open. I'm going to try to clamp it and wiggle it and pull it out like you're pulling a tooth. What do you think, Craig? No?
I'm going to have to do some sawzall work.
Hopefully not, because these walls cave in on the burden here. These are one of the challenging ones we like. Means we're going to have to work an extra hour today. Okay, so let's see that gauge, Craig. Can we see it? Yeah, tank's full. You can see the condensation there building up on the outside because the fuel is heavier because, colder, because it's underground. Mike doing his favorite job. Back from your trip to Maryland. How was that, Mike?
It was amazing.
It was amazing. You didn't drink alcohol, did you?
No. Good.
I worry about these kids. So Mike's cleaning it. We're averting a cave-in on him. This should actually be shored up a little bit, but Sam's running the buckets into the drum. Next one's coming right here now. This is teamwork. Up to Craig. He takes it over to Sam. Mikey gets the next. And then we talk a little more. So how about the
How about Aaron Rodgers?
Aaron Rodgers? What happened?
He hired a house cleaning company.
He
Cleaned his
declined
Green Bay house.
He declined his 2-year extension.
Well, obviously.
He did?
Yeah.
You're upset.
Yeah, a little bit.
Huh. All right. Mike is a big-time Green Bay fan. The rest of us are normal. We are Giant fans. And we continue on. All right, Mike's filling that sludge now. So, because I can't get alongside of that tank, and it is from where I'm sitting about 10 feet below grade, I can't pull the tank out because I can't dig along the sides. You just have no room. So Craig is going to have to go down and cut the tank into a couple of strategic spots so that it'll kind of bend in and I can grab it and it'll fold and I can be able to pull it out. That's all we can do here. Just don't want to affect the integrity of that one leg, which I think we have cleared. So he's going to cut a few slices into it right now. Let's just see where we're at right now. There's the tank. I mean, obviously not the best spot for it, but this town required 3 bollards and they're like $350 each. If it were 3 feet away, I mean, the only location we could have put it is up here by the skis, and then they would have had to have been 3 feet in, so it almost took up all the space of his garage, so we obviously didn't want to do that. Here is where the old lines came through. We removed them and then concreted that. The new lines are run along the bottom. Make sure we get a light switch in here. They come in along the bottom and then it's installed to a tiger loop. And it's up and running with a full tank, so all the work in here is done nice and clean. It's a good job. So we were limited of the location of this, so that's why we're using a horizontal, because I actually think they're going to use some of those railroad ties maybe and bring it up a couple of tiers to try to hide it. The copper lines go along the back. They're about 12 inches right now below grade, but then once I backfill, they'll be much deeper than that. And we just got to figure out how to backfill this without disturbing too much. Contour what's left there. They want to keep that tree. I'm not sure how that'll go. Plus it's got to be compacted in lifts. And then we got to find out what he wants to do with all those. That tank is an extremely thin tank. It got ripped pretty bad trying to get it out because it was actually 10 feet below grade. But it's a good one. It doesn't have any holes. I'm not going to be able to show you too much. You can see the way the teeth on the bucket. It was a bear to get out. But it is out. We got quite a bit of cleanup here to do. And it's 1:05. We have a 1 to 2 inspection, which means he'll probably show up at 3:15. So we're gonna run and get lunch. Okay, we have finished up here. Inspector came out, passed everything. There's all of those railroad ties. He was concerned with the Pachysandra, so we laid the ground protecting mats over it. These things are resilient, they'll come back. He's going to put a wheelchair accessible ramp in here, so I just gave him a little bit of a slope to try to keep all the water away from the tank area. We saved that tree, which he was worried about. It's got some history. We saved that tree. Everything is compacted and it came out very good. More importantly, we have another happy customer.
That's true.
All right, very good. All right, we have finished up. The homeowner just wanted to come over and thank me. a couple of challenges. He had some changes in the end, which is fine. It's never a problem for us. We were ready for that tank to be inspected at 12:30. We had a 1 to 2 inspection. Inspector showed up at 3:30. So we sat around and did nothing. So it's right now 4:10. Got about a 40-minute drive back to the shop. We'll get home in our homes by a little after 5-ish. So a little bit longer of a day for us. But in the end is the result we are always looking for. We have a happy customer. Tank wasn't leaking. He will refer us. So everything is good in the world. Another fine job by Tank Masters Environmental.